Welcome, lost souls, to episode 7 of Ghostly Whispers. The Crying Girl of Pluckley Village. Today, we travel to the heart of England, to the small village of Pluckley, which is located in the county of Kent. But be careful if you decide to visit. As you walk through the country lanes and past old cottages, there is a small patch of woods on the north side of the village, known locally as Pluckley Woods. And this is a place where no one should enter alone, especially after dark. For if they do, they may hear the cries of a sad and lonely girl. But who is she? What is her story? And why does she continue to roam these woods even today? But first, welcome back to another installment of the series, where we bring you hauntings from around the globe. We hope you enjoyed our previous episode and hope you're ready to enjoy this new one. So let's get started. The name Pluckley comes from a Saxon word meaning place near the church, and first appeared on a map in 1296. This little village dates back almost 1,000 years and is probably best known today for being considered the most haunted village in England. Yes, in just this small village, there are said to be no less than 14 ghosts roaming the streets and countryside. And for this reason, it's no surprise that the village is considered cursed by some. The village has been featured on many famous television programs dedicated to the paranormal, including Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted. Not only that, but it was actually featured in the 1989 Guinness Book of World Records as the most haunted village in England. Of course, no record keeper has attempted to track down every location with ghosts, nor could they possibly check every single alleged ghost story. But nonetheless, this is a fascinating fact. One particular ghost is said to haunt the outskirts of the town, just beyond the sleepy country lanes, within the deep and darkened woods. Here, a young girl with no name is said to wander the darkened path, her face hidden in the shadows. No one knows who she is, why she roams these woods, or why she will never rest. But they do know her story. It is said that a long time ago in Deering Woods, perhaps hundreds of years ago, a young girl lived in a cottage on the edge of the woods. Her parents were poor and uneducated and knew no letter, so no records exist of her birth. One day, while playing outside the cottage, the young girl wandered into Deering Woods and was never seen again. Search parties went out looking for her, but could not find any sign of her. Nobody knows how long she spent wandering the woods, nor how long she was lost for. But eventually, the villagers gave up hope of finding her alive. They assumed she had been taken by gypsies, or perhaps wild animals. But nobody truly knows the truth. After that day, however, the villagers began hearing strange noises throughout the woods. At first, they thought nothing of it, but soon the sounds grew louder. They began hearing what sounded like whispers and giggles. And though the voices were small, they sounded undeniably human. Soon, however, the villagers began to see something moving in the woods. A strange figure could be seen darting between the trees, and occasionally they could see a young girl standing by the trees. She seemed very sad and always wore a long, flowing nightgown, and she never seemed to age. The villagers started calling them the Screaming Woods after that. As the decades passed, the villagers became frightened of the screaming woods and refused to go near them. Those who lived closest packed up and left, and soon the houses closest to the woods stood abandoned. After many years, the villagers grew accustomed to the sound of the girl's voice and the sight of her running through the woods. They also noticed that whenever someone new came to live in the village and walked into the woods, they would return unnerved. Some claimed they were touched by an ice-cold hand. Others heard whispering voices or saw the fleeting glimpse of a sad-eyed girl. As more time passed, the woods were then renamed Pluckley Woods, after the village. The ghost of the nameless girl is said to haunt these woods to this very day. It wasn't until recently that the woods have become popular once again, due to the popularity of ghost hunting. For decades, paranormal investigators have tried to locate the source of these strange events, but none have been able to explain what is happening in Pluckley Woods. Now, locals warn tourists not to enter the woods after dark, as they never know what they'll encounter. Many have theorized that the girl is still lost and wandering these woods, searching for her way home. Perhaps she is waiting for someone to help her find her way home, or waiting for her parents to come and rescue her. Others think that she is much more sinister. Maybe she lures people into the woods with her strange appearance and sad eyes, and then feeds off their life force or even their soul. These days, many people claim that they have seen the ghost of the nameless girl. She is usually seen as a silhouette and seems to blend into the trees. Occasionally, however, witnesses are able to make out the details of her face, which is always hidden in the shadows. She is usually seen wearing a white nightgown and barefoot, holding no possessions. It is also said that she seems to favor certain areas in the woods, including a clearing near the center and a weathered oak tree. The tree itself is said to be hundreds of years old, and many have reported seeing the ghostly girl leaning against its trunk. So who is she? Is she just a lost girl who needs our help, or something far more sinister? That is up to you to decide. Sadly, we may never know if she is friend or foe. Of course, the nameless girl is not the only ghost to haunt this village. With about 12 to 14 reported ghosts, Pluckley has definitely earned its reputation as the most haunted village in England. One of the most popular ghosts is the Screaming Man. He is believed to have worked in the village, brickworks, and was smothered by a drying clay wall that fell on him. His screams are said to be heard coming from the brickworks, and his ghost is said to appear sometimes as well. Another is the Highwayman, Robert Dubois, who was said to have been killed with a spear thrown through an oak tree in what is now known as Fright Corner, pinning him to the tree. His ghost is said to appear sometimes as well, and he is said to jump out at people traveling on the road just as he did in life. The phantom of an elderly woman can also be seen. Known as the Watercress Lady, she made her living by selling watercress at a crossroads bridge. She passed when a spark from her pipe ignited the whiskey she was drinking, setting herself ablaze. There is also the story of Henry Turf, a headmaster, who was found hanging from a tree on the land leading to the mills. His ghost has been seen on the lane, dressed in a green blazer and striped trousers. A ghost of a man known as the Colonel who ended his time in Parkwood, is seen marching through the woods in full military costume. He is described as completely harmless, and most people who see him don't even know he's a ghost. The Lady of Rose Court, thought to be a mistress of one of the Deering family, tried eating poisonous berries and haunts the house and gardens between 4 and 5 p.m., where she is heard calling her to dogs. A phantom monk is said to haunt a house called Greystones, and may have been involved in a love triangle with the Lady of Rose Court. The Deering family is a major source of hauntings in the village, with two of its members, the Red Lady and the White Lady, said to haunt St. Nicholas's Church and the Deering family house library. The Red Lady, said to be searching for the grave of her stillborn child, is buried in 7 lead coffins within an oak coffin. The White Lady was the wife of a baron who owned much of the area. When she died, her husband was so distressed that he had her buried in 3 lead coffins and an oak one in an attempt to stop her body from decomposing. The phantom of the Pinnocks is said to haunt the ruined windmill near a house called the Pinnocks. The phantom is thought to be Richard Dicky Bus, who is usually seen before a storm. Lastly, a dark-colored horse and carriage are sometimes seen or heard charging through the village at high speed on Maltman's Hill. So, what do you think? Are the ghost stories of Pluckley nothing but a silly fairy tale, or is there truth behind them? Is the village cursed, or is it simply a coincidence that so many strange things happen here? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode of Ghostly Whispers, please be sure to follow for more episodes and leave us a like and a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe for more haunting tales. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe and sleep well.